Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everyone? It's K. I am the TEN still, Kim out of Tennessee. And we are on a quick break for It's Monday, baby. Even though it's technically Tuesday, this is a part of Steve Larsen's precursor to Funnel Hacking Live, the It's Monday event, and just awesome information. I'm going to share with you one of the things I learned yesterday that really, really was helpful to me. So when you come to these events, what you're basically doing is you are compressing the time frame that it takes for you to learn something. There are people out here that are experts in what they do, and they're willing to share the information with you if you just get in the environment. So another reason why you should come here is that when you come to places like this, you get not only the expert on the stage's information, but you also get people in the audience who are implementing it. Like he asked about people, what their funnels were generating, and you literally have somebody sitting next to you who has $1 million funnel, okay? And they're not on stage, they're sitting in the seat next to you, so you can pick their brain on the break or whatever. So one of the things, and this is applicable to any business, okay? One of the things that he talked about yesterday, he called it the salometer. And by the way, I'm just sharing one tip from yesterday. I'll be sharing all of my notes with my Better Body Builders, okay? In the WhatsApp, we'll have a Zoom and I'll go over some stuff with y'all because y'all know how I do. There are some certain tips and tricks that make sales easier, more simple, and more fun, all right? That get you a higher price, a higher cart price, okay? So I'll be sharing all of my notes with my Better Body Builders, those people that are a part of my team. But this right here, I'm telling you, this one tip, if you get it, and you might need to watch this video a few times to get it, but this one tip, trust me, can be super valuable to you no matter whether you're in my profession or not. If you're selling anything, know this. So he calls it the salometer. I'm going to call it the buying barometer, okay? So basically what he says is, when someone is about to buy from you, based on the objections that they have, if you determine what category those objections fall into, you will know how close you are to closing them. Okay, and there's a little graphic that he had up, and it's like a gauge, right? And then there's, 1, 2, 3. There were 4 sections of the gauge. So the closing is on the camera, it's going to show opposite, but the closing the person is on the end. But the first objection that people will have is an objection about the vehicle, meaning the product or the service. So they're going to wonder, like, does it work? And that's what most people want to know. Like, does this thing work? Is your solution a solution for me to the problem that I have? Now, oftentimes you can prove very easily that something works. You can prove it with testimonials, with case studies, with things of that nature. So the first objection usually is the easiest. But then once you prove that something works, once you prove the vehicle, the product or service works, the next objection will be something internally based. So people move in their mind from does it work to does it or could it work for me? Is it going to work for me? And this is where they come through. Like if you're selling an opportunity, right? They're thinking, I know that person got rich. I know you showed me this testimony of this person who got financial freedom, but is this vehicle going to work for me? How does this apply to me? And see, this is the hardest type of objection to overcome, because there are a lot of negative self-talk. There's a lot of negative dialogue. There's a lot of history that a person has gone through in their life based on the interactions with their parents, their husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, former bosses, co-workers. There's all types of things and experiences that people have had in their lives where they kind of like beat themselves up. Most people are negative about themselves. Okay, most people have not achieved their dreams. Most people have long forgotten their hopes, and they constantly, day in and day out, unconscientiously, they constantly beat themselves up for that. So when a person says, can this work for me? They're usually thinking, I've messed up on stuff before. What will make this different? And so when you get that type of objection, you really have to, this is where a high skill level comes in, to where you can show them not just testimonials, but other testimonials of people you want to like kind of sort of get in that person's brain, cause a conscientious interrupt, and show them address those concerns, address those issues. And you got to do this for different people. If you're doing a mass presentation, it's like I said, this is where a high school skill level comes in. But you want to talk to that person, get in their head, let them know that you understand how they're feeling, and then communicate with them from that perspective. That is the internal objection. Now, the next thing will be an external objection. Okay, this is where they have an objection about the vehicle. They believe the vehicle works. They now think that they can do it, but now they have something blocking them about the vehicle. Meaning this could be price, this could be time, this could be, it's something about the vehicle. So for many people, if you are introducing them to an opportunity and you say, hey, I know you said you have a problem with money, you're short $500 to $1,000 a month. Let me show you this vehicle that people are using to get extra money into their house. And then you show them testimonials. And so the person's like, wow, I believe in that vehicle. But then they're like, well, can I do it? And then you're like, well, hey, my team has a system. My team has some resources that will shorten the time frame that it takes for you to make a sale. I have proven success, and I screen share with you interactions that I have with my customers. So that's going to show you step by step exactly what to do. And if you follow this system, then you'll be able to learn from my mistakes instead of repeating my mistakes. So now the person is like, okay, I believe it works. Based on what you just told me, the tools and tips and tricks and resources that you have, I believe that I can do it. But do I have the money to get started? Right? Do I have the money to get started? Well, now this is where you can get into, well, hey, you can have a garage sale, or do you know we take credit cards, or do you know you can pre-sell your way into the opportunity, or So, or if somebody says, do I have the time to do it? Then you can reinforce, well, let's look at how much time do you have. And then you can lay out a game plan and say, based on the time that you have, this is what we could do. It might not take you, you might not get to your goal, your income goal in a week because you don't have enough time to implement all of the steps. But you lay out a plan for the person and you say, based on the time that you're telling me you have to apply to this vehicle that you believe you can do and that I've shown you could do, and you're not saying this verbatim, but this is what you are reinforcing in their brain, then it looks like we can get you to your income goal in this amount of time. You see what I'm saying? So, and again, based on the objections that a person has, it tells you how close you are to closing them. I thought this was pure genius. So what Steve was saying from the stage is, he said, if I am talking to a group of people and I'm presenting my offer, not my product. See, a lot of y'all are going out here selling products or services. You need to present offers, okay? And that's what this seminar, and that's what I've been studying for the past year. How to decommoditize a commodity, how to make yourself stand out amongst a bunch of people who have the same exact thing that you have. It's very, very important, guys. So anyway, he was saying that when he is making an offer to people, what he does is when they come to the part of, hey, tell me what you're thinking about. It seems like you want to do this. Where are you hitting a wall? And if they immediately jump to the price, well, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. He knows they already believe in the vehicle. They already believe they can do it. So now all he has to do is show them how they can pay for it. So he's one step from closing them. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So this was very, very helpful because these are the psychological things that great salespeople know, that great salespeople understand, that the average person who just jumps into sales does not know. And so they spend a lot of time, and I've heard this before, and I've actually seen it go into action where people will they will address objections that the customer didn't even present, that the customer didn't even bring up, and they will waste time and talk themselves out of a sale, or talk themselves further from closing than they had to. So it was just really, really super helpful information. I drew the graphic. There's a lot of people here with a lot of good information. A lot of the people that are here were people that were also in Boise with me in September. So to see those people like, hey, I remember you, I remember you, I remember you. And we're coming together like minds, sharing this information. And these are the little things that compounded over time or all put together make huge differences. When you see someone who is skilled at sales, when you see someone who is having the momentum and the success that you desire, it's not because they're just lucky or they came out of the womb knowing this stuff. A lot of time they spent hours, days, months, weeks. When you were sleeping, they were at events or they were studying notes or they were masterminding with someone about these things that they now do just on autopilot that you know nothing about, and they make huge differences. This is the reason why you sometimes see people have conversations and you might say, well, I'm doing the same thing they're doing and I'm saying the same thing they're saying, but you're really not. You might be saying it in the wrong order. You might be saying it, even some things like intonation, upswing and downswing, how you're talking to someone. There's a certain way that you should talk. Your tone of voice should be at a certain decibel, so to speak, for building rapport. And it should be totally different when you're going to close them, when you're going to complete the transaction, when you're going to get their money, when you want them to respect you from a position of authority. So all of these things, guys, they play such a big part in making, hey, what's going on, Betty Speed Carter, Jennifer Mustafa, Superstar, I see you on here, Gary Gray, I see you, hey, what's going on, Cynthia, Bookman Hardison, Kenya was on, Natalie, all the way from, is it Anguilla or Antigua, I forget, I'm sorry, Karen is on, Karen said, great information, thank you, no problem, Ev Bolden Colley, my girl Veronica, Tremaine Dennis, and Sarai and Natasha Nicole. What's going on, girlie? What is the name of the program I'm at? It's called It's Monday, baby. Okay, so guys, that is the buy-in barometer. Remember, when you are going to get someone to sell your product or your service, okay, and stop all this, y'all, the quicker you come to grips with the fact that you are a salesperson. Well, I don't sell, I share. Okay, you keep telling yourself that. But the bottom line is, in sharing, you're trying to sell them something. So the quicker you come to grips with the fact that you are selling something and you stop having a problem with it to the point where you have to literally force yourself to name it something else because you don't want to admit that you're a salesperson, the quicker you come to grips with the fact that you are a salesperson, then you can get on to the business of studying sales and being around sales professionals and learning how to create better sales, okay? I'm going to sell you something. I don't have a problem with that. If you have a problem with that, then we just won't do business. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But trust me, oh gosh, I don't want to get into another topic. People like to buy stuff. They just don't like to feel like you're selling them stuff, okay? But people don't have a problem with sales. People love to buy crap. In a few weeks, people are going to get their tax refund checks, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to go buy a bunch of crap that they really don't need. You know why? Because it's retail therapy, because they get an emotional high from it, okay? People love to buy stuff, And if you understand that you are selling stuff and you become highly skilled and proficient at selling, then the experience is going to be enjoyable, not just for you, but for them as well. And they're going to want to give you more and more of their money. This gentleman in here is selling a program that's like $12,000, and literally when he was pitching it from the stage, a woman yelled, "Just take my money." That's the type of people that I like to be around, okay? When you're in that environment and you're seeing people who have invested in themselves, it becomes easier for you to invest in yourself, and guess what? It becomes infinitely so much easier for you to demand that people who want to work with you invest in themselves as well. It's all psychological. And of course, I saw superstar salesman, Mr. Myron Golden. I walked in the room and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "The same thing you doing here." So, it's a community of superb salespeople. I'm happy to be in the atmosphere, happy to share this with you. Remember, the objections will tell you how close you are to closing your prospect. The first objection and the easiest is an objection about the vehicle, the product or service that you are suggesting will solve their problem. The next objection is the hardest to overcome. It is their internal doubts, their internal dialogue, their internal conflicts, okay? And then the next objection will be external. Okay, great. I believe it will work. I believe I can do it. But dang, how do I get it? Will I have the time? Will I have the money? Will I, whatever the case may be? And there's a number of ways when you get in a room like this with so many different people and they're sharing, hey, when people have a price objection for me, I'll come up with a payment plan. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And you're writing down those notes and you're like, yeah, let me tell y'all something. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a perpetual problem solver. Okay? You are in the business of solving people's problems. The more problems you solve, the more money you make. Get into it, baby. Get into it. All right, y'all. I got to go back in the room. Yeah, I see some people leaving. So I hope y'all found value in this. If you did, let me know. The buying barometer is something that you should study. It's something that you should learn. And it's something that you should really, really think about the next time you are talking to a prospect. When they bring up an objection, what category does this fall into? And how close is this category? How close is it to getting them to close? All right. All right. Before you leave, if you love this video and you want more of it, then if you're on Facebook, Sarah, you said thank you. Muchas gracias, mi hermanita. But if you're on Facebook, I want you to hit follow and see first before you go. And if you are on YouTube, hit subscribe and bang the bell to the right ding dong. So every time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to know. Now I gotta go. Bye.